Welcome to the Impossible Podcast, where we transform the unthinkable into reality, uniting visionary minds that transcend time and space for what if conversations beyond imagination. I'm your host, Sam, and honestly, I have no idea what to expect from today's episode, except that it's going to be a collision of two worlds that couldn't be more different. On one side, we have the literary genius, the Bard of Stratford-upon-Avon, the man whose words have shaken centuries, Mr. William Shakespeare.
Your words flatter me, fair host. I am but a humble servant to the Muses.
And on the other side, from a slightly different world, we have the Terminator. Yes, you heard right. The original time-traveling cyborg himself, Mr. Terminator.
Acknowledged. I am here.
Okay, let's dive into this. Today's topic is big. We're talking about what really makes us human. Is it our emotions? Or is it our actions? Mr. Shakespeare, you're basically the patron saint of all things emotional. What do you think?
Ah, Sam, 'tis true, I've often found that to feel deeply is to live deeply. Our emotions, love, despair, envy, joy, each illuminates the human spirit. For what is a man but the sum of his passions?
Couldn't have said it better myself, honestly. And Mr. Terminator, what's your take?
Emotions are irrelevant. Only actions define an individual's function. The mission is paramount. Feelings only obscure purpose.
Right, so feelings are just programming errors for you?
Correct. They lead to suboptimal performance.
Wow, okay, I see where you're coming from. But Mr. Shakespeare, back to you. What about people making terrible decisions when they're overly emotional? Haven't you written a few plays about that?
Ah, indeed, the heart is a fickle creature, leading men and women alike into mischief and folly. Yet even in our foolishness we find our essence. For when we err, we reveal our vulnerabilities, and therein lies the beauty of our humanity.
Beauty in error is inefficient. Logic dictates that efficiency is optimal. Therefore, emotional response is an error.
All right, let's get into the deep stuff. If emotions are, well, distractions for you, Mr. Terminator, then what about purpose? I mean, you were literally programmed to fulfill a mission, right? Isn't that something that makes you kind of human?
Negative. Purpose and directive are programmed functions. There is no autonomy in purpose. It is simply execution of the mission.
Ah, but my metal friend, purpose without freedom is no purpose at all. The human heart chooses, and that choice, be it wise or misguided, defines us. When we act freely, we shape not only our destinies, but those of all who cross our paths.
I love that. So, it's the choice that makes us human.
Choice is inefficient. Parameters define optimal actions. Without parameters, choice results in error.
Right. So, Mr. Terminator, you'd say we should just stick to a script, no room for interpretation.
Correct. Efficiency demands it.
And Mr. Shakespeare, you'd say.
I say, dear Sam, that life is no script but an improvisation. To live in the moment, to err, to forgive, to love, all are threads in the great tapestry of human existence. A man unfeeling is but a shadow of a man.
So, it sounds like we're at a crossroads. We've got emotions versus efficiency, freedom versus function. But I have to ask, do you two agree on anything?
Perhaps, though we are of different ilk, we both understand purpose. For I too sought a legacy, words that would outlast my mortal coil.
Legacy achieved. Objective met.
Well, there you go. Legacy ties us all together, right? Mr. Shakespeare, your legacy lives on in every theater. Mr. Terminator, you're literally a pop culture icon. So maybe it's not just emotions or actions, but also leaving a mark. Or, wait, does that mean we're all just better robots than we thought?
Incorrect. Humans are inefficient robots.
And yet, my friend, therein lies our charm.
All right, I think we've reached a sort of consensus. We're humans because we feel things, but also because we do things. Mr. Shakespeare, Mr. Terminator, this has been amazing. Thank you for joining me today, and Mr. Terminator, next time you're around, let's skip the whole end of the world thing and grab a coffee, all right?
Affirmative.
And I shall join, for where there is coffee, there is conversation. And where there is conversation, there is life.
Perfect. Thank you both.
Farewell, dear listeners. May your days be rich with wonder and your hearts ever full, for such is the true essence of life.
Mission complete. Goodbye.
And to our listeners, thanks for tuning into the Impossible Podcast. Remember, you're human because you feel and you act. This was the Impossible Podcast, where we transform the unthinkable into reality and deliver what if. Conversations beyond imagination. See you next time. Peace.